7 True Treasures. The Buddha's Secret to Lasting Wealth. Jeff Bezos, once the wealthiest man in the world, lost $38 billion in a single divorce. Elon Musk saw his net worth drop by $200 billion in just 1 year as Tesla's stock plummeted. These massive numbers, wealth accumulated over decades, can vanish in the blink of an eye. But here's the miracle. There's a kind of wealth that no one and no circumstance can ever take from you. No economic crisis can erase it. No natural disaster, war, or even death can strip it away. And what's more magical, the more you share it with others, the richer it becomes. This is what the Buddha called the 7 noble riches, 7 treasures that, once you possess them, can never be lost. Over 2,500 years ago, when the world measured wealth in gold and land, the Buddha revolutionized how we think about true prosperity. Welcome to the Daily Buddhism podcast. In the next few minutes, I'll guide you on a journey to uncover the most sustainable path to wealth humanity has ever known. This isn't about money or material things you can touch. It's about a higher kind of wealth, deeper, more resilient than anything you could ever store in a bank vault. And the best part? You can begin collecting these treasures today, no matter how much or how little you have in your bank account. Before we go deeper, let me ask you this. What, in your view, truly makes someone wealthy? Is it just numbers on a savings account? Or could it be something far more profound and lasting? Part 2. Why the traditional definition of wealth is misleading. We live in a world where wealth is often measured by what's in your bank account, the number of properties you own, or the brand of your car. But look around, and you'll notice a strange paradox. Robin Williams, a man who brought laughter to the entire world, ended his life in deep depression. Anthony Bourdain, a world-famous chef who had everything one could desire, also chose to leave life in despair. These are not isolated stories. They form a heartbreaking pattern in modern society. Researchers at Princeton University discovered something surprising. Once a person earns about $75,000 per year. Additional income doesn't significantly increase happiness. The longest-running study on human happiness by Harvard came to the same conclusion. What truly determines happiness isn't money, it's the quality of our relationships. So, why are we still obsessed with material wealth? Because we've confused having with being. Owning more will make us better people, but the Buddha taught the exact opposite. When we become better people, abundance naturally flows into all areas of our lives, and this is where the 7 noble riches serve as a robust roadmap. They're not about what you have, they're about what you become. Part 3. The 7 True Treasures, Stories of Transformation. The first treasure, faith, saddha, unshakable trust. Let me tell you about Steve Jobs. When he was fired from Apple, the very company he had founded, most people would have collapsed in despair. But Jobs possessed something no one could take from him, a deep and unwavering belief in his vision. Faith doesn't mean unquestioning belief. It's a profound confidence in the correct principles and in your ability to live by them. Jobs believed in karma, in his power to transform, and in the basic goodness within human nature. That faith led him to create Pixar and Next, and eventually return to Apple for one of the most remarkable comebacks in business history. When you possess this kind of faith, you don't fear failure because you understand that every experience is a chance to learn. You're willing to take calculated risks because you trust your ability to adapt and overcome them. The second treasure, virtue, sila, moral integrity. Patagonia, the world-renowned outdoor brand, once made a shocking decision. They pledged millions of dollars to environmental responsibility, even though it meant foregoing short-term profits. But instead of weakening the company, this decision created unshakable customer loyalty and billions in brand value. Virtue is the moral foundation upon which all other treasures are built. It's the commitment to live with integrity, no matter the circumstances. People with this treasure never compromise their core values for temporary gain. They treat others fairly, even when no one is watching, tell the truth, even when lying would be easier, and take responsibility instead of shifting blame. The beauty of virtue is that it naturally earns trust. And with trust comes strong relationships, lasting partnerships, and countless opportunities. People always want to work with those they can rely on. The third treasure, moral shame. Hiri, a conscience that feels wrongdoing. In a world full of temptation and shortcuts, moral shame works like an inner alarm system. It's the ability to feel discomfort when we act against our values. Not the toxic kind of shame that makes us feel worthless, but a healthy moral compass that guides our behavior. Those with moral shame immediately sense when they've crossed a line. They feel genuine discomfort when acting unethically and self-correct before harm is done. They hold themselves to high personal standards. The fourth treasure, moral fear, ottappa, respect for consequences. Moral fear is the awareness of the negative consequences of our actions. Not just external punishment, but the internal erosion of character. People with this treasure understand that every action shapes who we become. Bad habits accumulate into character flaws, and reputations take years to build, but only seconds to destroy. This treasure keeps you from thinking, just this once. It helps you remain ethically consistent, even when the risks seem low. Those who cultivate moral fear are perceived as dependable, are promoted to leadership positions, are entrusted with high-stakes tasks, and are recommended for rare opportunities. The fifth treasure, learning, sutta, listening and expanding knowledge. Warren Buffett reads 500 pages a day. Bill Gates finishes 50 books a year. Most successful people share one common trait: they're lifelong learners. Learning is the commitment to intellectual growth and the pursuit of wisdom. In today's information age, the ability to keep learning is your most significant competitive edge. Those who stop learning quickly become irrelevant. Lifelong learners actively seek knowledge from multiple sources, listen more than they speak, question assumptions, and stay curious. They don't just learn for knowledge's sake, but to apply it to improve their lives and the lives of others. The sixth treasure, generosity, kaga, the power of giving. There's a strange paradox in life. The more you give, the more you receive. Research has shown that generous individuals tend to be happier, healthier, and more successful. Generosity activates the reward centers in the brain, creating a cycle of fulfillment and satisfaction. Generosity isn't just about money. It's about giving time, attention, kindness, and wisdom. It's giving without expecting a return, freely sharing knowledge and skills, offering help, and being generous with praise and recognition. Generosity fosters an abundance mindset and attracts opportunities. Companies with generous cultures attract top talent and loyal customers. Generous individuals build networks that become invaluable for their careers and lives. The seventh treasure, wisdom, panya, true understanding. Finally, we arrive at the supreme treasure, the one that empowers all the others, wisdom. This is the ability to see reality clearly and make decisions based on a deep understanding, not just surface appearances. Wisdom includes the insight of impermanence, that all things change. It includes understanding interconnectedness, that our actions have an impact on others. It means knowing the difference between desire and need, and seeing the long-term consequences of present choices. Wisdom allows you to use all the other treasures skillfully and with balance. The wise make better investments, choose the right life partners, resolve conflicts with grace, and remain calm regardless of external circumstances. Part 4. Why this is the most sustainable path to wealth. When you look at truly successful people, a clear pattern emerges. They all possess these treasures to varying degrees. Oprah Winfrey, once a poor girl from Mississippi, became one of the most influential people in the world, not because she started with money, but because she cultivated these inner riches. Unlike material possessions that can be lost in an economic downturn or stolen in an instant, spiritual wealth accumulates over time. The more you develop these treasures, the stronger they become. Those who nurture these qualities naturally attract others who share the same values, creating robust support networks and life-changing opportunities. When external circumstances shift, those with inner wealth can adapt and thrive. They don't rely on the outside world for their happiness. Positive psychology studies confirm what the Buddha taught centuries ago. Gratitude increases happiness and success. A growth mindset predicts achievement. Emotional intelligence is a better predictor of success than IQ. Integrity builds the trust essential for effective leadership. There's a beautiful paradox. The less you depend on external validation or material things for happiness, the more they tend to come to you naturally. When your inner self is complete, you operate from a state of abundance, not scarcity. These inner treasures create an inner stability that no crisis can shake. You become less reactive, more intentional, and more resilient. And because you are not constantly chasing temporary pleasures, you are free to pursue meaning, purpose, and connection. This is true, lasting wealth. Not the kind that sits in a bank account, but the kind that resides in your being. Part 5. Your transformational journey begins today. If these insights resonate with you, show your commitment by commenting, "I'm ready to cultivate true wealth." I will read and respond to each of your comments personally. Your journey to cultivating these treasures can begin today, simply and practically. In the first 2 weeks, focus on the foundation. Write down your core values and guiding principles. Reflect on them daily to nourish saddha, conviction. Choose one moral standard to improve and practice it consistently to build sila, virtue. In the next 2 weeks, turn your attention inward. Before every major decision, ask yourself, would I be proud of this choice? This strengthens Hiri's moral conscience. Identify one bad habit and replace it with a positive one to develop ottappa, fear of wrongdoing. In the third 2 weeks, commit to daily learning. Read, listen to a podcast, or observe life closely to develop sutta, learning. Practice one generous act each day, no matter how small, to cultivate kagga, generosity. From the 7th week onward, begin a daily meditation practice. This will help develop clarity, broaden your perspective, and apply wisdom in daily decisions to embody panya, wisdom. Unlike bank balances, these treasures are measured by the peace you feel, regardless of circumstances, the quality of your relationships, your ability to help others, your sense of purpose and meaning, and your resilience in challenging times. True wealth is not about having enough money to buy anything. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to buy happiness, peace, or a sense of meaning. When you cultivate these 7 treasures, External abundance often follows naturally, but more importantly, you become rich in the most meaningful ways. Inner peace, deep relationships, a purposeful life, and the ability to make a positive impact in the world. Remember, material wealth is temporary and uncertain, while spiritual wealth is eternal and unshakable. External abundance flows effortlessly from internal cultivation. You can begin building these treasures immediately, regardless of your current situation. They accumulate over time, and no one can steal them or take them away. Each day, you have a choice. Invest in fleeting pleasures that fade, or nurture lasting treasures that grow stronger over time. These 7 treasures are not just Buddhist concepts. They are practical tools for building lasting success and deep fulfillment in the modern world. Thank you for joining me in this exploration. Keep nurturing these inner treasures and let your definition of wealth expand to include what truly matters. Subscribe to the Daily Buddhism podcast for more transformative wisdom, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, remember, true wealth begins within.